Hey everybody, let's see, the mic is on. Okay, take 13 at this point. Welcome back everybody to a long time coming, another unboxing video on Contemporary Cardboard. I'm Nick and it's been a while. I'm not the only person that had a lot of life changes in the past couple of years. We'll just leave it at that. You can see it's a new studio and new setup. Hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, it looks like you can hear me. We're gonna give it a go with a classic unboxing. I've got First in Flight by Artania Games. Hope I said that correctly, and hopefully you can hear me this time. This is a new Kickstarter that just came in, still in the shrink wrap. So let's get right to it and do the old unboxing. Let's see what we got here. We can see it now properly, hopefully. Yes, looks like it. Yes. Okay, sweet. It was upside down before and you couldn't hear me before. So we're going to stop living in the past and crack this open. See what we got. Alrighty. So this is, if you're unfamiliar, this is a deck building game. And you can, if you haven't noticed, it takes place around the Wright brothers era. Was it the early 1900s, I believe so? Don't quote me, I'm not a history major. But trying to be the first person to fly a plane ever. It's a deck building game. Here we got the rule book. So you're buying you're taking actions, you're adding cards to your deck, you're shuffling them up and seeing if your plane is ready for flight, basically. Great, beautiful, colorful, looks like very expansive rulebook. I've got 2-player rules clarifications at the end. That's always nice. I get some biographies of actual people in real life here. Like we don't even know when Edith Berg was born, ? And then she passed away in 1949. That's always cool. It's a nice little bonus there. And Orville and Wilbur Wright, right back here. There you go. And a nice quick reference guide on the back. Always nice to have. If you're using the last page there, use every piece of the buffalo, right? Genius Games, little advert for their other games. We've got stickers. We do have stickers. That's interesting. Not sure where they would go quite yet. We have our player boards. We've got our machines on the right here, and at their left, and then on the right we have our barn. Oh, we got who will be the first in flight? Look at that. That kind of work there if I show that off. Trying a little new setup here. There we go. That's the back of the player board, and you can see on the right hand side we have that's where our cards go, and we got some iconography right there, and then on the still figuring this out again, very rusty. We've got, it looks like just some quick reference there. There we go. And these all look to be the same. There's 4 of them. We now have a whole cardboard piece of, I'll say cardboard, but stronger than paper, solo mode rules, and looks like quick reference, or this is the the Atama, like that's copyrighted or not, but like how the solo mode, so the setup, how they take turns, and then what they do on their turns over the course of each year, because the game's played over 4 rounds or 4 years. The first person to get to a certain milestone, distance-wise, or just whoever's gotten farthest at the end of those 4 rounds, whichever comes first, that triggers endgame. Here we have the board. Bada bing. Very beautiful. Love the art on this so far. We got a round tracker. Looks like whoever's the farthest, that's how much they get. They get more money. And this is the action selection path here. So you can jump all the way down as many spaces as you want, I believe, and you get to do the associated action. But then you're leaving others behind, and then whoever's farthest back, right, gets to go next. And then once everyone gets to these, gets off the action track right here, that finishes the rear of the round. And again, 4 rounds. And then up here, this tracks our distance. The first person to get to 15 is their milestone, it looks like. And like they extended that to 40 actually. I think that triggers end game. That triggers end game, right? Imagine you finish the round or a certain number of turns, so you could potentially go farther. Whoever farthest wins. So it's a deck builder, so we're gonna have some cards. These look fancy, so we'll hold off on those. We've got these multiple sets of cards, again on deck builder. I'll get all this trash out of the way. Alrighty, let's I'm gonna kind of move my handy dandy close-up camera here. So we've got standard run-of-the-mill one distance cards here. We got a bunch of them. So imagine these, I think these are face up near your board, the player board, and you can like kind of always add those, I believe. They're taking an action, like they're like standard deck building stuff. Looks like we have even more of them, or at least this top card on this package is the same. One distance. It adds one distance to your flight because you build your deck, you shuffle it up, and you draw. It's kind of a push your luck to see how far you'll go. So yeah, so we got some more one distance cards. And now we have less, not as many, level 2 distance. There we go. Again, love the art. So you can see it's a different plane here. Different plane. Bleh. Get tongue-tied. Whoop. So that's always cool. So it's a little bit better plane, going a little bit farther. So we got a few of those. And then we have a level 3 here, the 3 distance. And level 4, yeah, I like the art again. They really kicked it up a notch here. I love that it's all science-based. Like I said, in the rule book, we just got to see level 5. Here we go. We have to see actual history notes, right? And here we have, so that's your basic flight. We got a bunch of these cards, right? These are just straight up give you distance. But now we're getting into some interesting cards here. So this one has one distance, and looks like you draw a card, and it gives you +1 for your flight. So kind of said this guy gives you a card draw, basically. It looks like. I haven't read all the rules. Probably should have beforehand, but I like to open it up and show you what the full unboxing experience is. So I can't really read my set of rules, at least. This is a relatively pain-free Kickstarter experience, if I remember right. I don't think they really suffered any major delays. They got one more of these cards here in this pack. And then here is basic flight problem. So I believe that little starburst icon here, that gives you damage. I imagine once you hit a certain number of those, it ends your flight. So it still kind of gives you some distance, but it hurts you, right? So here we go, delicate wing structure. So we had a bunch of those basic flight problems. So now we have here, delicate wing structure accounts as 2 damage, right? Or whatever that icon is. This is the first damage in your flight. Oh, so it can get really bad. So it could be 1 or it could be 2. And so it gives you some opportunity to repair in the future. There's a wrench and a +1. Looks like mechanic card there in the upper right hand corner. So we got a few of those cards. And then we have power failure. And again, it still gives you distance, but it hurts you. Again, to push your luck. The power failure, your largest distance in your flight counts as 2 distance. Oh, so that limits your, like, if you've got a really good, you've got 5, I believe, right? 1 to 5 is the distance, but this can limit your best card in your deck. So it's cool. It's different ways to, I'm sorry, it's fun. It's like, it's not just basic, +1, +2, +3 flight or whatever. There's different variations of ways that your machine can fail. Unreliable elevator control. It gives you up and down height in your flight, if the next card added to your flight is a +1, looks like it cancels it. It looks like. So the more ones that you have, because we had a bunch of those that we just saw, this gives you 0 distance actually. So that's no bueno. Here we have looks like character cards. Well, the back of these, so you can see like any standard deck builder, they all have the same back. I should mention, right? For your deck, but then these don't looks like they don't go in your deck obviously because they have different backing. So imagine these buff your flight. They give you bonuses from the ground because this is a person. Looks like if I can get the plastic off. I have seen some of the newer games starting to have paper. They come packaged instead of plastic cellophane like this. They come in paper, which is better for the environment, which I'm all for, and it's easier to open, which I'm definitely all for. So yeah, here we have. Oh, here's a different. They have a different. So this is a character card. So that's what their back looks like, and then here's what they looks like. They all give you different abilities, as do most people do. So this is again real people. Ada del Acosta. We have Alexander Graham Bell. I remember him from school. Thank you for the telephone sub. Charles M. Mandy. Charlie Furness. And we've got Edith Berg. She's a person, we don't know when she was born. If anybody knows, let me know. Well, we can let the publishers know. They can put an errata in the rule book. And let's kind of go a little bit faster through these folks. But it looks like they all have different special abilities. And I believe in the rule, I'll have to check the rule book, but I believe we got a breakdown, right, of what they all do. We definitely got a little history blurb about what everyone does. So we don't get a card breakdown, but I imagine the rule book obviously will explain what all the iconography does based off of what we're seeing right here. Hopefully you guys, I know this is just in the little corner here. Do I have let's try that. So I imagine definitely easier to see, but hopefully you were still to be able to see the cards when they were in the lower left-hand corner. So now we have a new, we have Daredevil cards. That's what their backing looks like. Here we go. So Daredevil, these are all the same to me. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck, draw 2, and shuffle the rest into your deck. So that's cool. You kind of luck mitigation there. So we just have like 3 or 4 of those. These are maybe pilot cards. So roll control, right? So that lets us look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them in any order. So that's cool. We got a few of those. Wing warping. That's interesting. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. So they all do similar things. And you put them back in any order. So these are just different ways to look at through your deck here. Tilt the canard. When you draw a damage and the previous 5 cards in your deck or in your flight have no damage, put that card on the bottom of your deck. So that's cool. So again, push your luck. You got to have some ways to get around bad luck, right? Fly cautiously. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Return them to in the same order. Kind of gives you a little look into the future there. Close call. When you draw a damage from your flight, shuffle that card back into your deck. Nice. So we have one of those. Practice makes perfect. If your previous 4 to 7 cards in your flight have no damage, add 1 or 2 more cards. So if you got a really good deck go on there, like I think you're always going to have cards that give you damage, or issues, that little starburst thing, but that's a good way. If you got a perfect flight, get you a little bit further down there. And when you take the specific plane action on the board, gain $2. Nice. And now we're on the mechanics cards here. Aluminum crankcase. So we got like just one or two of these cards in the whole game. So these are going to be, I imagine, pretty powerful. There we go. Just showing them all off. Yeah, it looks like just two each here. Take off catapult. There you go. That sounds like fun. Wheeled landing gear. Alrighty. So we've got... so these look like character cards. We've got Wilbur and Orville Wright. So yeah, we have one of each. Oh, these are double-sided too. So one side has yellow, and the other side is blue. Not exactly sure. I imagine these are all the same people that we saw before. So here's the blue sides. Let's see. So for her, on the back side is +1 for each yellow character card. So that's one of the first ones we saw. So +1 for each one of these, right? Let's say the same thing on the back. So these use the ability of any. So these. Oh, okay. So when you get a trophy, it looks like up here, you get to flip it over and get the other side of the card. So that's cool. You can upgrade character abilities. And then we've got a descend card. Not exactly sure what that is. Herbert. So this is specifically for him only. Play at the end of your flight. Shuffle the remaining deck. +1 and draw 2 more cards. You may not use certain abilities. Wow, this gives you 8 distance? Seems a little nuts. Oh, that's 6. I'm reading the other side, sorry. That seems pretty crazy. And then here we have, okay, so these look like the cards that were just mentioned. Not exactly, see. More descend cards. And they all appear to be the same. Alrighty. So here it looks like we have Kickstarter fancy cards. We've got some gold. There we go. It's on the yellow side of the cards we just saw. We got fancy gold leaf. Is that right? You can kind of see that looks really nice. In the name and on the bird there. Very fancy. So I'll be using those. I already got my sleeves all set up. Have you heard that, folks? We've got coins. I'll just stay on this view here. It's the best view. We've got metal coins. They all seem to be value 1. So here is what that side looks like. And then we also have First in Flight 1903 on the tail side, I would say. I don't know. You decide what's his heads and tails. I don't know if I would use these for flipping gambling. Gamble responsibly. Ooh, here we go. So here's some fancy Kickstarter things. We got plane. Look at that. These are plane upgraded plane markers. I imagine for the action board. And then we also, and then different shapes as well, the different colors and shapes. So the first one we saw looked more like the, what looks like the, is that going to focus? There we go. That first one looked more like the Wright brothers plane, if I would have to say so. Here's one that has like the flappy wings that never really took off. Like more the bird plane. I feel like this guy was out there trying to flap his wings and jumped off that cliff there. And then here's purple, more traditional looking early 1900s, right? Plane. Hopefully that kind of focuses and shows off there. Very nice detail here. They're solid, and then we have 4 busts, and they're all the same mold, but different colors, and they're different light blue and darker blue, darker orange, lighter orange, right? And then purple and I guess gray. Well, they got their goggles and Snoopy hats on. And then, because I kind of buried the lead, because here's all of the, so that was the fancy stuff. I should open this first. This is screen printed wooden markers. Oh, we got a really cool clock here. And then we've got a paper airplane, I would say. What is that? Let me take a quick, 1 second. Yeah, it looks like a paper airplane to me. Again, with nice screen printing on one side. These are double-sided screen printing. So this is the kind of pretty chunky meeples here for the players there. We got a blimp. I'm not sure what this is for. I don't see a spot on the board because that's not the blue player marker. This is the blue player marker. This is a one-sided screen printing. We've got a one-sided screen printing clock here. So these are all, you've seen all of these. And then we've got, is that a rocket? USA. And a purple rocket. I don't think they had those back then, did they? NASA people, get back to me. Looks like, oh, I see. We've got 2 options for player markers when it comes to the wooden, the meeples there. So we got a purple rocket, purple plane. We've got a orange plane, and we have that helicopter. Again, that just hopped up and down and never really took off. And then here's the other white. So we had these are your 2 options for that player, right? And we have the blimp and this plane. Boop. Right. So that's what that is. Sweet. We got two level inserts. Let's go back to, let's see. Let's go to this view here. This is upside down. Oh well, I apologize. I'm trying to find everything, all the quirks and oddities that for streaming and stuff, and I keep finding things. At some point, you just have to go live, right? So we've got the tray here, and then we also have one more tray in the box. We got nice art on the sides of the box too. I just noticed, at least on the art from the back, just wraps around. And I guess on the bottom as well. So 3 sides and the top is just sky. That's everything, folks. Hopefully this is entertaining and worth your time. I try to be as quick as possible. I know I can ramble in real life and on streaming. Hopefully you liked it. I said that 3 or 4 times already, but thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you did like it, what you want to see going forward. I don't know if I have a voice for reviews and stuff. I mean, the last thing the internet needs is another large white guy with a beard talking about board games. But that's what I love, and that's what I keep doing. I'd love to see some maybe some playthroughs coming maybe a little bit. I got a game that got me back interested in the streaming the other day, so maybe we'll see that unboxed, and then if you guys want to see it streamed, let me know. I'll shut up. Thanks. Bye.